Glassmen. We've been growing at essentially the same rate in a lot of ways. Back 1990, 91, the Colts were 24th and the Glassmen were 25th or 26th. And the ultimate irony was that both corps made the top 12 finals for the first time in 1993, and we actually tied for 11th place to make finals. So you can't move on a path similar any closer than that.
You certainly can't. And one of the things we talk about organizations of this size is, there is a competitive element, but it really is about the kid. It's a youth activity, and it really is about the experience that they get. So that really doesn't change whether you're a smaller organization, maybe like the Blue Stars that we saw earlier tonight, or a corps like we're seeing with the Cavaliers.
No, that's really true. Next Sunday, July 7th, is our show in Dubuque. And
is that a plug, by the way?
Well, it depends on what time the program airs, actually. My point is, though, the Glassmen are coming for the first time in a long time, and we're putting them up in one of our better facilities, and we're having ice cream together afterwards. We'll compete our brains out earlier, but that's not really what it's all about.
Right, and that's true, and that's the one wonderful thing about our activity. For the most part, it's an activity that really is about bonding of youth and really a positive experience for young people. And it's one of the things that, once they've gone through this experience, it's something that they keep for the rest of their life. Now, as we look at them, again, doing their kind of warm-up, it's a little bit more unique for something we've seen tonight. But the music they're going to play is really fitting for this time of year, isn't it?
Yes, it is. As a matter of fact, they're playing some very patriotic music. We've got Stars and Stripes, Symphony No. 2, and maybe a very fitting closer will be very fun with I Got a Rhythm.
Yeah, a Gershwin tune, and obviously Gershwin, one of the more popular American composers. And, what are some of the things we should look for from this corps, Greg? A corps that obviously you're going to be kind of scouting a little bit for your own organization, but what's something that we can expect from them?
Well, the Glassmen traditionally have a real unique approach to their visual ensemble. One little quirk you might notice is that they're the only corps tonight that starts marching with their right foot and not their left foot. And the reason they do that is because all of their movement principles are based in modern dance, which is always position one, lead with the right foot. So they transfer to the movement as well. They don't call it marching in the Glassmen. They call it the movement and the visual ensemble. You see a lot of really tightly coordinated movement situations with color guard integrated with percussion, integrated with brass. And the approach they took to the show this year is real interesting, too, because on one hand, it feels like it's totally unrelated pieces of music, but when you take it to the next level, they're really after Americana. That whole concept of Sousa and Gershwin and that whole American music ethic. Case in point, this is their warm-up. This isn't even the start of the show, but here we are right into it. Any questions what we're going to do tonight?
It really does. It puts it all out there, and it's one of those things that tries to endear the crowd to the corps, and that is something that has really happened from kind of spoke for you a few years back when the fans were saying we're not feeling that relationship with the corps. So do you feel that that's changed?
It really has. There was a time 3, 4, 5 years ago where the real creative nuances kind of took over, and some of the audiences were really kind of alienated. And we've since come back to where we're really, as an activity, playing what the audiences want to hear, but at the same time still challenging audiences.
Here comes the Glassmen.
Case in point.
Here come the Glassmen. Sit back and enjoy.
Well, man, that was quite a performance. You know, they're not quite the size of the Cavaliers, but man, that was quite a show, wasn't it?
Well, I tell you, it talks about a lot about the maturity of the corps and the fact that they've really been there before, because if you really analyze the numbers that are out there, the numbers aren't that much different than what you see with Night Express or with Pioneer, but just the maturity and the sound lead you to believe that these guys have been at it for a while.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier. It's just the age of the member, and that really makes a big difference, doesn't it, Greg?
It really does. Their average age is well over 19, and I would guess Night Express is 17 and a half, 18. And that 1 year, that's a whole year of playing your trumpet in college. That's a whole year of being in another drum corps. And here, too, with this organization, they went through a traumatic change this year. Their executive director that had built the program to this point left to take over the reins at Drum Corps International, its corporate headquarters. A whole new director, and they've still got that level of performance and that level of organization. That's a real strength.
Let's kind of try to wrap up what we've seen tonight. We're going to come back in just a second after we take a quick break, but let's talk about what we've seen tonight, what we really thought was kind of special. If we had to recap tonight, what are some things that really stood out for you, Greg?
Well, the first thing that stands out to me is the crowd and the energy in Cedar Rapids. You know, the show was great. You know, 8 really fantastic corps tonight. The audience really participated tonight. They're buying into drum corps even more so than they have. And as Troy mentioned earlier in the broadcast, there's a rich tradition of drum corps here in Cedar Rapids. And I just see the whole thing taking a major step forward around here, and it's real exciting.
Troy, what about for you? What's something that really, what are you going to take away from tonight?
Well, I'm going to take away the fact that we've got a lot of kids who have just worked very hard throughout the summer, and they're getting their reward with the crowd as the Glassmen are trooping by here. I mean, that's all that they're out here for, is the opportunity to perform in front of folks, and that's what I take scores aside. I mean, scores are nice and they're fun, and you know, there'll be scores and there'll be competition, but really the meat of this is for these kids to be able to entertain, have fun, have a good experience, and learn. And that, seeing their smiles is what makes me feel very good about tonight.
It was quite a show tonight. We had a great night for drum corps. We had an absolutely fabulous lineup, and I think the people at home really got a real taste of what drum corps is like here in the Midwest.